Hello, class. So we are going to go over chapter 18. This is a very short, brief chapter, but it's basically more about speaking on special occasions. So special occasions are high points in our lives. We're talking about christenings, weddings, funerals, graduations, award ceremonies, inaugurals, retirement dinners. All these are examples of special occasions. Or maybe a close friend makes a toast to the bride and the groom. The sales manager presents an award to the sales rep of the year. A family member delivers a moving eulogy. These speeches help give the occasion its specialness, and they aim to fit the special needs of that occasion. So, we're going to talk about speeches of introduction, presentation, acceptance, and commemorative speeches. Speeches of introduction, it's basically a speech that introduces the main speaker to the audience. When you are going to be doing speeches of introduction, you basically have three purposes to accomplish. First, you want to build enthusiasm for that upcoming speaker. Secondly, you want to build enthusiasm for the speaker's topic. And thirdly, you want to establish a welcoming climate that will boost the speaker's credibility. So that's if you're going to have a guest speaker and you are introducing that guest speaker to the audience. Some guidelines for introduction speeches. You want to be brief. Don't make your introduction long winded. The purpose is to focus the attention on the main speaker, not the person making the introduction. So, this kind of speech will usually be no more than 2 to 3 minutes long. Make sure that your remarks are completely accurate. Always check with the main speaker ahead of time to make sure that your introduction facts are accurate. Above all, you want to get the speaker's name right. So practice pronouncing it, especially if it involves a foreign pronunciation. Thirdly, you want to adapt your remarks to the occasion. So for a formal presentation at a formal event, you would use formal language. More casual introduction at an informal business meeting. Fourth, adapt your remarks to the main speaker. An introduction speech that leaves the main speaker feeling uncomfortable has failed its purpose. So you want to avoid overpraising, setting up expectations that are impossible to fulfill, or revealing embarrassing details of the speaker. All of these are ways to cause discomfort feeling for the speaker. Fifth, you want to adapt your remarks to the audience. So your aim is to make this specific audience want to hear this speaker on this specific subject. You want to establish the speaker's credibility in the area and adjust the information depending on what makes up or who makes up your audience. And sixth, you want to try to create a sense of anticipation and drama. So usually you're trying to build that sense of drama and leave the name for last. So when you're introducing them, you really want to build them up, but not overpraise them. Make sure you're setting up those expectations, and then at the end, you introduce them by name. Then you have speeches of presentation. That's when you're presenting someone a gift, an award, or some other form of public recognition. These speeches can be just a mere announcement, and the winner is, or up to 4 or 5 minutes long. But the main purpose of this speech is to tell the audience why this recipient is receiving the award, to point out his or her contributions, achievements, and so on. You don't want to cover everything that they've ever done, but only focus on those achievements that are related specific to the award. You may also need to discuss two other matters. First, if the audience is not familiar with this award, briefly explain it. And second, if the award was won in a public competition and the audience is aware of or knows those who lost, then you might want to take a moment to praise those who did not win. Then you have speeches of acceptance. So that's basically when you're on the other side. And that's when you're giving thanks for a gift, an award, or some other form of public recognition. So, when giving these types of speeches, you want to thank the people who are bestowing the award and also recognize the people who helped you gain it to get to that point. The major traits of a good acceptance speech are brevity, so make it short and concise, humility, and graciousness. Then we have commemorative speeches. That's a speech that pays tribute to a person, a group of people, an institution, or an idea. So some examples of these speeches of praise or celebration would be eulogies, Fourth of July speeches, or dedications. But your fundamental purpose in this speech is not only to inform your audience, but to inspire them, arouse and heighten their appreciation of or admiration for that person, the institution, or the idea that you're praising. You want to express feelings, stir sentiments, whether it's joy and hope for a new building, anticipation and good wishes at a commencement celebration, lament and consolation at a funeral, admiration and respect at a testimonial dinner. With commemorative speech, it's kind of like an impressionist painting, a picture with warm colors and texture, capturing that moment, that mood. But instead of using brush and colors like a painter, you're going to be using language. Of all the speeches, this kind depends the most on creative and subtle use of language. So, in these types of speeches, your success will depend on your ability to put into language the thoughts and emotions appropriate for the occasion. In these types of speeches, you're going to be implementing the use of language that we discussed in chapter 12: metaphors, similes, parallelism, repetition, and alliteration. So, this is basically chapter 18. I hope it's helpful if you're ever have the opportunity to do one of these special occasion speeches.